All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases. It is Wednesday. Just back here with the boys talking about how baseball used to be this country's national pastime. We got to get back there. Maybe we will one day. I don't know. You get to the play every year. You get to the playoffs. People are so fired up about baseball. It should be a bigger deal. Like even when I was a kid, it was the biggest sport. But I know the people that show up to watch this show every day. Baseball is number one. We appreciate you guys in the chat every single day, in the comments. We notice the guys that show up every day, guys and girls that show up and watch the show. We appreciate you guys, and that's why we come to you 6 days a week to talk Major League Baseball. Guys, we're going to start off with Giants-Dodgers. Huge game, one of the biggest rivalries in the game. Tonight out at Dodger Stadium, national TV. I believe the entire country, well, our country, Tokyo Brandon, our entire country is getting this one on MLB Network at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure Japan's getting this game as well because, of course, Shohei Ohtani is pitching for the Dodgers tonight. You guys nailed two angles. I'm going to go to Brian first, and then we'll go to Tokyo Brandon. But this is why you watch the show. TV came on this show at the beginning of the year and was like, hey, Shohei is pitching for the Cy Young this year. Like, that's like this before anyone else was like sort of making this big time case, TB. So shout out to you for saying that right in one of our first shows. Brian, you made a great point that this might affect his offense, right? That like if he's focusing on pitching, it might affect his ability to hit at the level he's been hitting at. And you guys absolutely nailed that because he has not looked like the same guy at the plate, but he really actually might win the Cy Young. His ERA is under 1. He's been electric. So Giants, Dodgers, Brian, again, I'm going to start with you. Giants have kind of had their number, but Shohei really does look like he's on a mission to win that award. How do you get involved with Giants, Dodgers tonight?
Yeah, it's funny that you say it's one of the biggest rivalries, but yet most people outside of that area don't look at it that way because the Dodgers have dominated that division for so long, and the Giants are like an afterthought, especially this year with the rookie coach, and they've been underperforming on the season. But hey, nobody gets up for the Dodgers like the San Francisco Giants do, and I believe they won 4 out of the 6 games so far this year. Robbie Ray, the lefty, on the mound up against Shohei Ohtani. Current line is about 235 or something, 240 in that range. Total's been dropped down to 7.5 over. There's still a couple of 8-unders in there, so you go either way on that one. But yeah, you mentioned Ohtani. Ohtani hits a home run yesterday. First one he's had in quite a while. But the manager says he will not hit today and he will not play tomorrow. So he's given him a little bit of a mental rest here. Don't know if tomorrow is going to make a difference. He's still a great hitter, but today he will not be batting, and tomorrow he will not be batting. That may be why the line has dropped a little bit here. But keep in mind, Ohtani has not been good this year. He's got about a 240 batting average, which means very little. But normally the guy's, in the 300 range, and he's got all that power, the speed. He did steal a base a couple days ago. But the drop-off without him today may not be that big of a deal that the line is telling you that because they've got plenty of bats on this team. Plenty of guys can DH, and I'm not too worried about that. But Robbie Ray has been pretty good, and he's really had a nice season so far. The last couple of years, he's really bounced back from his surgery. And Ohtani, as you mentioned, has been great. So we're looking at this game right now. And from the weather standpoint, really, the wind's blowing out a little bit in Baltimore. But other than that, not much to look at here. And from a starting pitcher standpoint, we've got 2 really good starters here. We've got Robbie Ray and Ohtani. I expect Ohtani to go over 6 innings. He's been doing that a lot. He needs to go over 6 innings in order to hit that limit at the end of the year because they do have a 6-man rotation. Robbie Ray's also pitched pretty deep in this game. I'm expecting 5.3. Robbie Ray does have a problem walking sometimes. He's probably going to walk about 2.5 batters in this game, but I happen to think the total is a little low here. Ohtani, no doubt about it. Ohtani's been great so far on the season. But when I take a look at this, this is a good home run hitting ballpark. And you rarely see totals in this range in Dodger Stadium because obviously the Dodgers are such a good hitting team. The Giants outside, keep in mind the Giants have not hit very well this year, but they're playing in a terrible hitting environment in San Francisco, especially for home runs. You go down their list of guys that they count on for power. None of them are having a good season. They've even brought up their big power hitter from the minor leagues, and they've been using him as a pitch hitter. Now they say he's going to be in the lineup every day. We will see. But there's a lot of power in this game with a total of 7.5. I kind of like the over.
TB, Brian made a really good point. We made a lot of really good points, but one that stuck out to me was, the Giants have taken 4 of 5 so far in this series, yet they're 18-24 on the year. Like, that to me is just nothing more than they get up for the big name. They get up for big brother, right? Like, the Dodgers have had the upper hand in this rivalry. They've had the upper hand just about on everyone in Major League Baseball the last couple seasons. And the Giants, I've actually brought this up where it's like they do sort of run on like vibes and energy. It feels like when they're engaged and they're high energy, they're playing well. And when they're not, it's part of the reason that they're 18-24. So talk about this game. And also Ohtani, 7 innings last time, his longest outing of the season. Do you think any of his props get there tonight, TB?
So I have a 5% play in MLB today. So grab that. If you grab a double play with me and either one of these gentlemen, you can get that included. I'm sure they're going to have a 5% play in the next 3 days. So a double play, any 2 of us, huge discount for 3 days, all access to 2 of your favorite cappers. So, the Dodgers have accomplished one thing in this series. Before the series started, the Giants were ranked 24th in batting, and they're currently ranked 15th. So the Dodgers have definitely helped the Giants batting a lot. And the Dodgers have dropped to 21st in current form in batting. Basically, the Dodgers go as Pages and Muncy go. And Pages and Muncy did absolutely nothing yesterday, and the Dodgers ended up doing absolutely nothing. So, that's pretty much how the Dodgers go. I just looked at Ohtani's prop for outs, and it's 18.5. So, in other words, he needs to record 1 out in the 7th inning for you to cash, and it's plus money. I stay away from those. Generally, the only pitcher that gets a prop like that is Wheeler. Used to be Castillo, but not anymore. Wheeler would get a prop like that. I don't think it's a good idea. Not the way San Francisco's hitting right now. I would stay away from a Ohtani prop in this one. If you really want a plus money, decent bet, take Ohtani to get the win. It's going to be big plus money, and it's deservedly big plus money because, frankly, I don't know if the Dodgers can beat this team. The Dodgers just look awful. They're playing really uninspired baseball, and they have the worst manager in Major League Baseball. So usually their talent can overcome the boneheadedness that comes from the dugout, but they're not overcoming it. Granted, he hasn't really made any bad decisions. It's basically the talent not showing up, which is why they're losing. I mean, I'm bad-mouthing the Dodgers a lot, but they're still 24-17. Something like that. So they're not a terrible team, and they're 10-8 at home, something like that. So they're bound to win a game eventually, but I don't know if it's going to be today or not. I would take Ohtani to get the win for big plus money in this one.
TB, I'm with you. I think it's the best bet you can sort of make in this particular game. So let's go back to the other series that these 2 teams played in San Francisco. Giants took the first 2. It's almost like subconsciously there's a sense of accomplishment when you win the first 2, and then it's like we've done what we needed to do, right? Like winning the series against this team is huge, so they've already done that. I do think that the Dodgers probably are have the motivational edge here, maybe for the first time this whole series, because of course you've got your guy on the mound, Ohtani's pitching. There's no question that it's become an organizational goal for this dude to win an award. It's weird, but that's what's happening, right? Like the Dodgers are basically saying, we're prioritizing doing something for Ohtani over the betterment of the team, because I don't think Ohtani hitting worse and pitching every 5th day necessarily makes the Dodgers a better team. I think it's good for Shohei Ohtani if that's what he wants to do. He's gone 6 innings or more in every start. You pointed out that he was going to try to get to 6 every start. So why would you not want him to get the win? I mean, if you bet him to get to the win here, you're getting 6 innings. So why not? I think that's a great way to look at this one. I do think the Dodgers probably salvage the finale of the series. All right, let's move it along. TB's 5% play. Check his 5% play out. Check out the different specials we have on the website. If you're looking for playoffs for the NBA and the NHL, in addition to your MLB, Brian's we've got the all access package that if you do 30 days, it takes like $100 off. And he's a great one to look at to get all the sports other than Major League Baseball. If you want to bet baseball in random countries and small towns around the United States, I'm your guy because I bet KBO and AAA had a nice winner this morning with the LG Twins. So hopefully that is setting up for a nice day for all of us. Let's go to, I think the country is getting your Cleveland Guardians here early on the network. So why don't we talk about that one? Angels, Guardians, a couple people asking for this one in the chat and asking about Parker Messick, who really is like becoming a household name at this point. The clear ace of this staff. He's been incredible. And Brian, you've liked Reed Detmers too. I think he's starting to come around as a, kind of like the second and third chance for him. And suddenly he's starting to put it together a little bit as well. So how do you see your Guardians today at home against the Angels?
Yeah, it's the only day game on the schedule today. And we've got a couple lefties, Detmers and Messick going. Line on this one right now, we're looking at Messick is about a 160 favorite with a total of 7, which is a little low, but Messick has been so good all season long. I can definitely understand that. The Angels with Detmers on the mound, he's a guy that currently for the last 14 days ranks 106th in pitching, but overall in the season he's 54th. He's done very well. In fact, the Angels starting rotation has actually pitched pretty well this year, and that has surprised me. Kashanowitz got bombed last time out, but he's a guy that came out of nowhere, at least to me. Urena's a young guy that's pitched pretty well for them. Now they've got Alex Manoah. He pitched in bulk the other day, and he looked really good, which surprised the hell out of me. So the Angels starting rotation, and we all know about Soriano's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. He just had one bad game all season long, but this Angels team has got some pitching for a change, and from a hitting standpoint, they've been inconsistent. That's the problem, but they still have some pretty good hitters on this team. They made some moves, bringing some guys up from the minors, and they're doing what they can with what they have. And overall in the season, they've done pretty well. Cleveland has actually hit lefties better than righties this year, which to me blows my mind because they have more left-handers in the lineup than just about anybody. Now, they do have some switch hitters, but they've got guys that bat left-handed, and they've had a lot of success against lefties. You don't see that very often. Lefties, especially if you're throwing from like a sidearm view, there's a lot of guys that have done that in the past. The ball just comes right up on you, and for some reason, Cleveland continues to stick in there. They're not bailing out, and that's one of the reasons why they've had a lot of success against lefties. Messick has been a guy who's been tremendous all season long. So I understand the line here. I understand the 160 and I understand the 7. The Cleveland bullpen, I mentioned this the other day. The back end of the bullpen is now really starting to find itself. They brought up a couple guys that back from injury. Sabrowski's been terrific. Gaddis is now starting to pitch a little bit. And since he's come back from injury, starting to pitch a little bit better than he was before. Cade Smith, been watching him this week. He's back to his normal self. In fact, the last 14 days, he's rated number 1 in pitching and relief pitching, and Sabrowski's number 2 on the season, number 4 and number 2. So they're great at the back end. Once Gaddis gets a little bit more experience back there to this year, he'll pass up Festa. Festa's one of the weakest parts of this bullpen, but Tim Herron's very good. Holderman, who they got from Pittsburgh, I really like. So I really like the back end of the Cleveland bullpen, and Parker Messick is a guy he's given you some innings, and he's ranked as the number 20 pitcher in Major League Baseball this year. So if I'm playing it, I'm probably playing something like the Angels team total under. Problem is it's at 2.5, and I'd love to see it at 3.5, but it got bet down really quick. You can still get 3.5 in a couple of places, but you're laying -145. If you get a 3.5, I'm interested in that. 2.5 is just too many question marks, and get lucky with an error or something to that effect and kills you in that. So that's my opinion on this game. Is I think Cleveland's going to shut down the Angels, but I'd rather have the 3.5 than the 2.5.
TB, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these pitchers threw up a decent line. Did you do any pitching ratings for today?
I did, but actually on my X Twitter, all I have is the strikeouts and the outs props today. But I can tell you, Messick doesn't have a sample size against these guys, but Detmers does. 40 at-bats against, 275 average against, and a 996 OPS. And if you've heard me ramble before, I look at 750 OPS over-under as the cutting line. So I think the Guardians can get a few runs off of Detmers. And, the Angels bullpen is never, well, actually, they played quite well at the beginning of the season, but right now they've dropped to 20, where I totally agree with Brian. The Guardians bullpen has risen from the dead. They're actually playing quite well right now. Messick is a stud. This is the perfect game to take a -1, in my opinion, because -1 is literally no risk. It's like playing Pai Gow poker. You're gonna get a lot of pushes, but you're not gonna lose your money if your team wins by 1 and they're at home. So to me, taking a -103 for -1 to back Messick here with the better bullpen and the better starter and the better lineup, to me makes a lot of sense. -103 is a great price for that, in my opinion. If they win by 1, you get a push, and if they win by 2, you get your money. So nothing more frustrating than being on the right side and losing your money because your team only won by 1, right?
The problem I have, Brian. Sorry to cut you off. The problem I have with that is you're asking your team to win by 2 in a game total to 7. That's kind of hard to do. Just to save 50 cents or 55 cents, I would rather take them straight up.
That's
my opinion.
Go ahead.
If you don't lose, you win, in my opinion. So,
well, if you don't lose, you don't win in this one, because if they win by 1, you break even. Whereas in a total,
I'd rather break even than lose.
Nobody wants to lose, but if a total 7 as opposed to Colorado, it doesn't mean quite as much. But anytime there's a total of 7, I hate to lay more than what I have to.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, I definitely think this could be a low-scoring game. My number's coming out right on 7. I think they made a good number for this one. I think if you could have gotten a 7.5 on the total, that would have been appealing for the under. Doesn't mean it's not going to go under. Reed Detmers has some really impressive metrics. Expected ERA is 2.91. Expected batting average 2.14. Like, I know I've said it's like almost like third time's the charm, because he's failed a couple times. He's gotten called up a couple times, hasn't worked out, has had to go back to the minors, has looked like he's fallen out of favor. And this time around, he looks like the guy that I think a lot of us expected him to be, like when he was coming up through the ranks. Brian, you both made a great point about the Guardians and their bullpen. And I'm just going to throw out a name because, AAA this year has not, like right now, the pitching depth in AAA is as bad as I can remember it since I started betting AAA, I started seriously betting AAA in 2021. I cannot remember a year where there was less quality pitching options on May 13th in AAA than this year. And the Guardians just called up a guy by the name of Franco Aleman, Aleman. He's been great. Like, he's been one of the best relievers at AAA. So it's like, this is a year where no one has good bullpen guys in the minors. Like, you're going to look, I think you're going to see bullpens across the league really start to to decline as guys get hurt because there's not many sort of refills at the AAA level right now. The Guardians arguably had the best one in this Alamán guy, and they just called him up. He had a good scoreless. I don't know if it was his debut. I think it was his major league debut because he was a 2021 draft pick. Made his MLB debut on the 10th, 2 scoreless innings against the Twins. I think he may have gave one up last night. But the point is, the Guardians somehow made their bullpen deeper. It was already really good in a year where it's supposed to be difficult to do that. So great bullpen. Detmers, I think, is better than the market. Messick, we all know how great he's been. Don't really trust either lineup. I could get there with an under, even though I don't love the number. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to call him Ale Man because I like beer. I'm sure that's not how you do it. I do want to point out that they did use the bullpen a lot yesterday. Smith, 18 pitches, Sabrowski, 23, Ale Man, 24. So the bullpen isn't quite as fresh as we would like it. But, yeah, if he can help out this bullpen, as a Guardians fan, I'd love it.
All right, back to you, TB. Paul Skeens, what a game yesterday. I saw a stat because, of course, we all remember that blow-up that he had in the first game of the season where he didn't make it out of the first inning. And after yesterday, where he borderline no-hit the Rock. I mean, he took a no-hitter deep, went 8 innings. His ERA is now under 2, which is actually insane considering it's May 13th, and he started the year the way he did in that first start. I think I read something that he hasn't walked a guy in like over a month. Yeah. Just an incredible outing for him. But that was yesterday. The Pirates end up holding on 3-1. Now they have to play the Rockies again today. Mike S. in the chat leans the Rockies at a bid plus money around plus 155. Pirates don't hit lefties well. What do you think? Any value on the dog here, Pirates Rockies?
They might not hit lefties well, but they do hit this lefty well. So be careful generalizing. Pirates are obviously the better team. However, it's tough to beat it. It's tough to sweep a series. And after yesterday getting shut down, teams tend to bounce back. Oh, well, it wouldn't be a sweep. This is game 2, right? So after a game like that, teams do tend to bounce back. And Colorado's been actually a pretty good team to bet first 5 innings over 1.5 team totals because they're 1.5 almost every game because they're always an underdog. I've got Colorado's lineup right now ranked 6 out of 30, even after yesterday's game. So that's kind of impressive. Colorado's been hitting the ball quite well. Neither bullpen is hitting well, and neither pitcher is actually pitching lights out right now. I might lean to an over in this game just because all of the things tend to line up that way. Pittsburgh's hitting the ball well. Colorado's hitting the ball well. Neither bullpen is performing well at all. And we have 2 starters who are not exactly, lighting things up. I mean, Keller's the better starter of the 2, but yeah, I would lean over in this one. I haven't done it yet though.
Yeah, I did think, very small victory for the Rockies at the end of that game to make, I think it was Gregory Soto really work for the save. That could have been, they could have rolled over Brian in that spot and just, because of course, like they were down 3-0, haven't hit anything all game. They get a double, they get a run, force Gregory Soto to throw about 30 pitches, right? 25, 30 pitches to get the save. I badly want to take the Rockies here, but I just didn't feel like I got the price that I wanted. I was looking plus 1.5, and I was hoping it was a little cheaper. But I definitely think they could be a live dog in this setup. Curious to see what you think.
Well, from a relief pitching standpoint, Pittsburgh didn't play on Monday, and the only pitcher was used yesterday was Soto, 24. And they've got 3 guys in this team that could close out games, and they even used Justin Lawrence, I believe, once to get a save. But yeah, they're in much better shape in the bullpen here. I've never been much of a Mitch Keller fan, but to be totally honest with you, he's been really good this year. He's ranked as 29th overall in pitching, 41 the last 14 days. Every time I look at the box score after I don't play Keller, I go, you know what? He did well again today. So he should be able to have a pretty good day against this Colorado offense, who a lot of times when you're looking at small sample sizes for Colorado and the Sacramento also for a small sample size, if they played a lot of games at home lately, that will really make an adjustment to their numbers. They're not nearly as good on the road as they've been at home, but to the Rockies' credit, I always call them Road Rockies. You want to fade the Road Rockies, and if you've done that for the last decade, you're a rich man. But this year they played a little bit better on the road than they have in the past. Yesterday, they were dominated by a guy who just had it. Skeens has been great. I remember back when he did get bombed in that first time out this year. There's people out there that go, well, I guess I could throw away that Cy Young Award ticket. These guys pitch 180 pitches, 160 to 200 pitches every year, innings every year. One outing is not going to cost them a Cy Young. I don't care how bad it was. And it wasn't even Keller. If you remember, that was back when the outfield just could not field at all. So there was a lot of runs that should have been unearned in that game. So so Skeens is even better than what he has shown. But I would love to play Colorado here, but I'd want to get probably about a 170, and there's nothing out there right now.
Yeah, that's where I was at in terms of like the price. It just wasn't big enough for me to want to take a shot, or the way I'd be looking +1.5. I wanted like 20 more cents there. Final thing I'll add with this one, and you made a great point, Brian, about the bullpen, and the only guy they used yesterday was Soto, and the day before was an off day. There was like legitimate discussion. I threw on the Altoona Curve game for a minute last night. Wanted to see Jared Jones throw a couple innings. Like there's legitimate discussion that he may come back and go to the bullpen because they have so much pitching. They're obviously want to, kind of build him up from an inning standpoint. I mean, the last two times he's now made 3 rehab starts in the minors, has been unhittable in every single one. I mean, like this is right now, they're just, I think Pirates management just has him going around to the different affiliates. Like he's thrown one at each level, and he just shows up when they're home to fill the stands. Like he could probably be back with the team, but it's like that's just the luxury this team has with how much quality pitching they have. So imagine, he threw 4 innings in Altoona. I was just there. Great little spot. Altoona last night, 4 strikeouts, no walks, totally dominant. I mean, to your point, Brian, they could. I mean, if they're going to bring him up and throw him out of the bullpen, and he's like a 2-3 inning guy for them. It just like they really could, like if that's even in their plan, they could unload the bullpen here after Keller. It's another reason it kind of like has me pumping the brakes a little bit with the Rockies because the Pirates pitching just is that good, and they can go to the bullpen early and shut you down with their relievers. So yeah, I may just sort of pump the brakes on this one.
Lazinski, I think, is the guy that they should probably send back to the bullpen.
For sure.
He's been there before. That's the way I would do. I hadn't heard that. I know that he's pitching very well, and he'll be back in like a week or so. But, they do have a lot of starting pitching. Bubba Chandler has been somewhat of a disappointment, but we know what he can do. He's been like a 4A player so far. But, this is a team that's got a lot of depth. It's starting pitching, and I like a lot of their bullpen arms. So if they can get a little bit of hitting out of Pittsburgh, they're a team with a pretty nice future.
Yeah, and this is not going to help you today, but just like take notes, right? Like last year when the Pirates did the almost like the split game a couple times where they went like Chandler, Ashcraft. They basically paired like 2 starters together and was like, hey, one of you give us 4 innings, the other one give us 4 innings. That could be a Jones-Lazinski type thing when he comes back, and that would be a bet on every time. I bet on that every single time if I knew that was going to happen. I got you. Well, I can't say the username, but I got you because there is another early game. We're going to talk about it. People saying go over the other early game, Orioles, Yankees. So back to you, TB. Yankees, Orioles. Orioles stole this game on Monday. Kobe Mayo, 3-run homer, something he desperately needed. Had a horrible week. And so to him to get that might get him going. And then the Yankees bounced back yesterday with a 6-2 win. So the finale, the other day game, how are you seeing Yankees Orioles?
Yeah, that Mayo home run cost me because I was on the Yankees that day. But yeah, you remember your losses a little more than you remember your wins. But guys, you can get a double play. 2 of us, 3. Pick 2 of us for a 3-day pass. Huge value on that. Or if you only like one of us, you can get 30% off on a 3-day pass for any capper at WagerTalk. So grab one of those at wagertalk.com. We're all going to have plays out today. I am absolutely sure of it. I have a 5% out right now. This is going to be my parlay leg. I'm taking the Yankees on the money line here because this is the rubber match game. Yankees will probably take it. Max Fried is a great pitcher. The one thing that concerns me is his numbers against these batters are not the greatest, but he's still under the 750 OPS, which I will take that any day. Bradish against the Yankees actually has pretty good numbers in his career, which is also a little bit of a red flag, but Yankees are just, they were hitting the ball. They're kind of dropped to the mediocre range right now, but their bullpen is much better. They have the better starting pitcher and they have the better lineup. So I'll take the Yankees here on the money line for my parlay leg. We're going to either lose our parlay very early or we're going to have a shot later on. So give me the Yankees in this one because even though it's a little bit, they're still better at every category than the Orioles. So give me the Yankees and Max Fried today.
Brian, agree or disagree with that?
I disagree. I don't think this is going to make my card. So, but we've got for the Yankees, he's a lefty, and Baltimore doesn't hit lefties very well. So that's something for them. But over the last, as good as Max Fried has been on the season, he's ranked number 12th. The last 14 days, he hasn't pitched that well. He's 138th. And when you take a look at the bullpen, Bednar's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Cruz has pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Hill's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. That takes away some major players in that bullpen that they still might pitch, but they won't be in there very long. That just is always a concern for me. Excuse me. And when you're looking at Baltimore, if this game was played the first game of the season as opposed to now, there's no way in hell that the Yankees would be a 180 favorite because we've got Kyle Bradish on the mound. And that was a guy that was supposed to be the ace of this team coming into the season. But he has not looked good. But last time out, he looked great. So maybe he has found something. Maybe they've tweaked him a little bit. So to catch Kyle Bradish at home in this price range, I'm not going to bet against that. I'm not going to go against Baltimore in that situation. They also have problems in the bullpen too here. So Garcia's pitched 2 of the last 3. Nunez 2 of the last 3. So both bullpens may struggle a little bit today. And as much as I think the Yankees are the better team, there's no doubt about it, I don't want to lay a 180 on the road with going against into Bradish. Bradish comes out and pitches like he did last game, which is a question mark right now, no doubt about it. But they could win this game. And to be able to get a plus 160, 170 with a team playing at home with Bradish on the mound, I can't do it. Good luck to TB, but I won't be joining him on this one.
Yeah, I just don't understand all the Yankee money all of a sudden. Like that's got me wanting to play back at it a little bit. Like this has moved like a lot since this morning. I mean the run line. Well, before I got on the show, the run line was like minus 125 a lot of places. I'm now seeing minus 105. I'm seeing a 20-cent move on the plus 1.5. You're talking about like I'm with you, Brian. I kind of want to buy low on Bradish here. He's someone that I really like coming into the season. And it's like these divisional games, like I don't know. Like I could see this being like a very good competitive game. So I like the Orioles plus 1.5. TV's going with Yankees money line for the parlay. That's fine. Hey, maybe we can middle it. We can middle it, you know.
I don't get all the Bradish love. I mean, he's 1-5 with a 4.8 ERA. I mean, what's there to love?
Small sample size.
It's 6 starts, but okay.
Back from injury.
You talk about home. Orioles are 11-12 at home. That's not much of a home field advantage, in my opinion. So I like the Yankees.
Yeah, there's
Max Fried is a great pitcher. He's an upper echelon pitcher. I mean, he's great. So
yeah, listen,
that's just my counter argument.
The Orioles,
We'll see tomorrow
the Orioles had. I think, and I've probably been guilty of this as well over the last couple seasons. I do think people get sucked into the potential this team was supposed to have, like Bradish, and people have. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have fallen short of expectation in this organization, and I think it's like, maybe skewed the outlook on the Orioles a little bit. I just couldn't pat like that +1.5 at -105 is great value, but again, it's Fried has been when he's on, he's tough. When he's on, he's tough. So, Brian, did you say -180 for that? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing anywhere from -173 to -190, probably 85 or so. It would probably be the average, I would guess.
That's a bargain.
All right, Brian. Do you
know free money?
Yeah,
well,
just
all right.
Better hope Kobe Mayo doesn't come up in another big spot late.
I know.
Don't let him get
killed
hot.
me the other day.
Don't let him get hot.
Man, the Yankees were cruising in that game too. Yeah.
Tough luck for us on the parlay. I think we lost by 1 run yesterday.
Sorry.
The hook in the Mets. Brian got home with the White Sox. I got it done with the Brewers. That was tough luck though. It's like the Mets just kept tacking on runs. They haven't done that all season.
Yeah.
So just unfortunate. But
let me just say one thing about Jack Flaherty. Yeah. That guy's washed. He looked horrible. And Merrill Kelly's washed too. They're both 30 years old and they're both washed. Bye. Not backing either one of those guys again.
I kind of agree with you on Kelly. I think his best days are behind him. Bryan Leonard, where are you going with the parlay? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I'm going to head to Cincinnati. Jake Irvin against Nick Lodolo, the lefty. We've pointed out many times this year that the offense should hit better versus righties than lefties for Washington, but they continue to hit lefties. And so there's enough sample size now. They're a quarter of the way through the season now that maybe they're really good versus lefties. And Lodolo, I faded him last time out. I talked about his blister situation. He didn't know how long he was going to go. And I'm going to fade him again here. I'm going to play the Washington Nationals team total. There's 3.5s out there at -140. This Washington team can hit. This is a good hitter's ballpark, not the home run ballpark that it's been lately this year. But I think they can get to Lodolo. And Washington, I like their young players. I like their hitters. And we, as a whole community, have made a lot of money betting on Washington team totals this year, whether it be the first half of the game or the full game. And we need 4 runs out of them today. And in Cincinnati, I think we can get that against Lodolo. He's a guy that right now, still coming back from the injury. Those, as I mentioned last time, those blisters at this point can come up at any time. And we really trust the Cincinnati bullpen to go extended innings. They've already lost their closer. They've had some other guys that have underperformed in the bullpen. Don't want to have to play Cincinnati at this number and have that bullpen save me. So I'm going to take Washington over 3.5 -140 is a team total.
TB's been preaching Nats team total all year. I said yesterday it was the best team total on the board. That was as easy as it gets. Over 4.5, shattered. 10 runs. That game over went over easily. 14 runs in the game. TB, Nats, Reds to you. Anything here for you?
Yeah, I really regret. If you watched yesterday's show, I said my numbers are screaming to take Washington, but I can't do it because Mikolas was on the mound. But today Irvin's on the mound, and my numbers are screaming to take Washington again. They have, like Brian pointed out, Washington's hitting number 5 in MLB in current form. I mean, that's number 5 among 30 teams. They're crushing right now, and they're fun to watch, actually. Washington's one of the more fun teams to actually watch their games. Pitcher versus lineups that they're facing today, there's not a real difference between Irvin and Lodolo. They're both kind of toiling in mediocrity, as I like to say, against the lineups they're facing. but Washington has the better bullpen, albeit both bullpens are kind of trashy right now. But Jake Irvin's got a really nice walk rate. He's got a good walk rate, and Lodolo does not. So if anything, I would back Washington here. I haven't done it yet, but all that regret from yesterday is making me want to.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a really good sort of relentless lineup. Yesterday, Keibert Ruiz was batting 8th. A couple of years ago, they had him in the 3-hole, right? Like they literally had him hitting on those bad Nats teams the last couple of years. You'd roll up. Keibert Ruiz was hitting cleanup. So you start to look up and down this lineup. James Wood, awesome. Brady House, honestly, probably just continues to get better, right? He's still kind of young. He's still kind of growing into himself as a player. Abrams is great. Jacob Young's having good at-bats. Dalen Lyle is hitting down in the order. He's a guy that led off all through the minors. And they had him leading off at points last year when he got called up. Tina, I think, came from the Guardians organization. Jose Tina, right? Or did he come from Cleveland's organization?
Yeah, he came from Cleveland, yeah.
He was awesome at AAA. The fact that that's their lineup, and then you still have Ruiz hitting 8th. Again, TB said it all year. The Nats, because they're a bad team, and they don't win. They were on paper a bad team. They don't win as many games. Their pitching consistently lets them down. So we're talking runs. A lot of the games they don't win is because they just don't have bullpen depth and elite starting pitching. It's made this sweet spot where you can just cash on their team total because they're going to find their way to 4 runs or 5 runs every game. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, TB talked about how well they're hitting lately. I don't think I've seen this all season long. Out of the 9 guys that they have in the projected lineup today, only one guy, Nasim Nunez, is not hitting in the top 100. 8 out of 9 guys are in the top 100 of baseball for the last week. We've got numbers of 14, 4, 22, 18, 89, 8, 78, 55. Everybody in this lineup is in hitting the ball well right now, and I don't see Lodolo. As much as I like him overall, I don't see him shutting them down.
They're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch. It's a team we like to root for.
You just brought up Nasim Nunez. If there's one guy that you're going to have in the lineup that isn't quote unquote hitting well, that dude runs out every ground ball. He plays as hard as anyone in the league. He'll steal bases. He'll bunt to get on. If you're going to have a guy in the lineup that's not hitting, that's who you want. So yeah, he's the kind of guy that I've always loved. A guy that he steals tons of bases, and he's not really known because he's not a great hitter. But if you got a guy on base like him, he can go at any time, and it really affects the pitchers. And TB will tell you that the pitchers start worrying about him. Now he is going against the lefty, which makes it harder to steal bases on. But still, the starting pitcher's got to look over at him, keep him in mind all game long.
Washington is the perfect team to bet team total over because they're almost always an underdog, and the books have to make underdog team totals less than the other team. So it's just a perfect combination of a team total over. They're not going to win every single day on team total over, but if you ever see Washington 1.5 in the first 5, 3.5 full game, it's a good bet. Whether win or lose, it's a good bet.
And shout out to you, TB. You've been saying this all year. I mean, if you I think you said that 5 weeks ago. And it's literally just printed all year. And it's for that reason. I think that was really good that you identified that as early as you did. And it's been an absolute money machine. And I hope it doesn't, I don't see it really slowing down at this point, especially when you're playing in these hitter ballparks, Great American Ballpark, offensive friendly, venue. And then one final point, the Reds just lost one of their high leverage relief arms. They're going to have to mix some things up at the end of games. It's not a given that they're just going to go out and lock down a lead at this point. So Brian going with the team total over here, I think makes some sense.
Like it.
All right. I'm going to throw a game out for my parlay leg. I'm going to use the Mariners. I think they get back to 500 today. I think that they have sort of been trending this way for a while. And then it was they had that weekend against the Royals where they lost a couple, 3 close games. Almost kind of hard to fathom they lost all 3 of those games. But since then, took 2 of 3 from the Braves, Yes, they did drop 2 of 3 to the White Sox, although that team's awesome. So give them a pass there. But they've come out and taken the first 2 games of this series with the Astros. And when I watch these 2 teams like that, they don't like, they're not like, they're getting priced here like they're somewhat similar. And I just don't think these 2 teams are similar. Like, I think the Mariners are eventually going to play their way into the lead in this division. I know they've gotten off to a slow start. I understand Cal Raleigh's on a generational slump. He's Chris Davis 2.0 all of a sudden. I mean, I don't know how that really happened, but in spite of all that, they have pitching. They have like winning pedigree. I still think that this is a team that like deep down understands how to win games, made it as far as they did last year. And tonight they've got Bryce Miller coming back. I commented on this a couple of times. I thought he looked great during his rehab starts. Lance McCullers is a guy that I'm not really that worried about playing against. You know, I mean, he's been okay at times, at a good outing against the Orioles, but he's also given up like 3 or more earned runs in like 6 straight starts. One of those was against the Mariners. They tagged him for 6 earned runs. I like -1. Is this, Brian? Is this still like -120, -125? That felt very cheap to me.
Yeah, there's plenty of 120s out there. My question to you is, how long do you think Miller's going to go?
So I want to just, you know, he had a pretty normal start 2 starts ago, because I watched it and I bet on it and I cashed in AAA. If you want to do that, you can get my all access, because I bet the AAA games regularly. And in that game, he went about 4 innings, kind of was on a pitch count, threw the exact amount they sort of expected him. Last time out, he pitched. Now, he only pitched for Everett, but I think it's because they wanted him inside. I don't think they wanted to send him all over the place. The Mariners have a weird setup where their Double-A team is in Arkansas, and then the Triple-A team, Tacoma, travels like all over the West Coast. Like, there's a lot of travel in the PCL. So I think they said, hey, we'll keep you close to home, put some fans in the seats. He pitched for the Everett Aqua Sox, went 5 innings, didn't allow a run, 2 hits, 3 walks in the game, but like it was ultimately a pretty regular start for him. So I think he's 5-6 innings today, because he's had a few rehab options. I think he's going to go in the 5-6 innings range.
Okay. Jose Suarez pitched 42 pitches on Saturday. He's been their long reliever. He may come in after 4 or 5 innings, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I agree. I thought the line was a little bit short here on Seattle. Seattle, to me, of course, I still have those preseason expectations of Seattle being one of the better teams in baseball. And if you mentioned Cal Raleigh had 2 hits yesterday. I mean, the team went crazy.
I did see that.
Broke his long slump, and they were nice swings. So hopefully he's out of there. He's never going to be the guy who's going to hit 60 home runs every year, but he's a guy that could hit 30 every year. And from a catching standpoint, any team would love a guy that hit 30 home runs from a catcher position. So yeah, Seattle, I think, is going to go on a pretty good run here. And Houston's a team we've been trying to fade all season long. They're not playing that well right now. Alvarez, who was so good earlier in the season, he's starting to slump now. And if you go through that Houston lineup, there's not a lot of scary bats in that lineup right now. So yeah, if I'm playing, I'm with Seattle. I'm with you on this one.
TB, after Cal Raleigh got 2 hits yesterday, would you take a flyer on any Cal Raleigh props? Do you think he's going to kind of go off now that he's got one to fall?
Well, I heard also that he took a shower in full uniform, and that's what snapped him out.
One of his teammates made him do it.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's awesome. This is what's great about baseball. Football players are too uptight to do stuff like that. But anyways, Lance McCullers is a chronic walker. He's walked 3 or more batters in 5 straight starts. I definitely would back Cal Raleigh. I would back Seattle. I would back the Seattle team total, anything, because I see bombs away here. But Lance McCullers, you said he's looked good at times. I haven't seen him look good at times. So maybe I just missed those glimpses, those shimmers. I didn't see it because he looks awful to me. Maybe it was earlier in the season when I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, I'd back Seattle anyway. Team total, side, whatever you got. Prop, lay it down.
Final thing I'll throw out, when I watch guys rehab, I want to see command. And Bryce Miller had plenty of that. command and velo. His velo was great, throwing like 97. Like his fastball was popping, and he had great command in 4 rehab appearances this year. 1.98 ERA, 14 strikeouts and 13 and 0.2 innings, and a 1.17 WHIP. You can't ask for much more than that. I fully expect him to throw the ball good tonight, and if he does, it's kind of hard to believe that the Mariners wouldn't win this game. So that brings us to the end of the show. TV, you want to send us out with a quick promo?
Yeah, I got a 5% play. These guys are going to put stuff out too. Double play 2 of us for 3 days, or if you only like one of us, get 3 days for 30% off for any capper at WagerTalk. Great value, and we're 3 of the best cappers on earth.
I actually have 2 4%ers locked in already. That's this
Awesome.
could be a higher volume day for me. I like a couple of different things. One of the things I do like that I just haven't fired on yet is my parlay leg, which is Mariners -125. Tokyo Brandon is going with the Yankees -180, and then Bryan Leonard is giving us a team total. Nats over 3.5 -140. That's your 3-teamer for today. Yankees money line, Mariners money line, Nationals over 3.5 -140. The 3 of us will be back for another episode of Total Bases tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. TV's got a 5%er. Go buy it. We'll see you in the morning.